Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast. And today we're finishing up our segment on how to build a successful baseball high school program with Coach Tony Perkins from Francis Out. Coach, fun.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of fun.
We got one more here, one more segment, and this is the big one. This is kind of, where those things are in place that we're going to talk about role as a head coach, how you come to some of these things, how you set the standard, set the culture, and then how do you get the community involved? And I think these are keys to maybe avoiding issues in the future too, right?
No doubt.
So, as always, YBMcast powered by Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. Season's around the corner, folks. Make sure most everybody, I would imagine, has their schedule pretty set at this point.
Pretty close.
Yeah. So, but hey, you know what? If you don't, there's great tournaments out there. Got the World Series here in St. Louis. Always a good time right around the 4th of July, fireworks, baseball. It's Americana, right? It's apple pie, Chevrolet, baseball.
You got it.
That's old stuff, I don't think these kids know that anymore. So we're back to it. Let's start off with setting the standard. Head coach, I love the first thing you got here. Be the first one there and the last one to leave.
Yeah, I've had a lot of coaches ask me about that. Just like, you got to be there. You got to set the example. You can't be showing up late. There's no way. You got to be on time. I love being at the field myself.
Yeah.
So that's where I get there plenty of time. And I make sure I'm the last one to leave. You got to lock the place up, and that's in any practice that you have. There are instances where you got something personal, with going to a doctor or family obligations. As long as I know what's going on, we're good with that. But yeah, you got to be the first one there.
There you go. And having to be a leader, as a young coach, and we kind of alluded to that back in some of the early segments. How long do you think that really took you to become that leader?
Yeah, not long at all. You have to be.
There you go. I love it.
You have to lead by example, and the things that you do on the field when you're around the kids, they're watching you. Mm-hmm. They want to see what you're about or understand what you're about. Mm-hmm. I've been around a long time, so a lot of the kids, especially coming through camps, they have an idea what I'm about. But if you're a new coach, you need to come in there and be aware of what you're saying, how you're saying it, and I like to cuss, but I never cuss in front of my players.
Right.
I just don't do that. I don't feel like that's something that you could do. I would like to cuss a lot of times, but I do not. I think that's helped me keep my job.
Yeah.
I don't let the kids cuss.
Right. And so that's a high school rule too.
Right. You get kicked out of a game, if somebody drops a big F-bomb, they could be,
I have done that before. Right. Yes.
It happens. So, if you're out there cussing, your kids are going to cuss, and that's not the right way to play the game.
And I think that there you go. As we're talking about setting a standard, it's a rule in Misha. I think it is across the board in high school. So as a head coach, if we're setting that standard, if I don't want to get my kid thrown out, if it's a commonplace, whatnot, maybe the kid just gets frustrated and throws it out there, boom, and he gets tossed. Maybe didn't even, it just kind of came out.
Yeah, I've had umpires talk to me, say, hey, tell 15 to watch his mouth. I said, what'd he say? And he'd tell me. I said, well, throw him out of the game. I don't care. They've been told enough. That's what we talk about in practice.
Accountability, right?
That's the best way to teach him lesson. Throw him out of the game. He's got to sit next game too. I don't care who it is.
Right.
And umpires want me to do it. I was like, I didn't hear it. If I heard it,
that's up to me.
He'd be coming out of the game.
Right. But you're there. I love that. I think that's great. I think that's perfect. It's funny coming back to leadership. There's something I realized early in my life. I was in college. I played soccer as also growing up and whatnot, and I really enjoyed playing it. I don't watch it as much, but I really enjoyed playing, and I coached when I was in college. I showed up at the AYSO. I wasn't married or anything, so it wasn't better to do. I thought, you know what, it'd be fun, go and coach and whatnot. I'm with 4 and 5 year olds. It was a lot of fun. The parents were great. I mean, college, I had nothing better to do, you know, go and have some fun. Coach up the kids. And it was a really great experience. And one thing it taught me, I even wrote a paper in class about this because I did dip school when I was young. I don't do that anymore. You know, it's probably not healthy for you, but, you know, I liked it. And I would have a dip in when I was coaching and whatnot. Not protruding, just, you know, so because I did. And I remember I had 15 5-year-olds sitting in front of me. I'm 21 at the time, you know, and I spit. And 15 5-year-olds start spitting everywhere.
Yep, there you go.
Right? And it dawned on me. And it just struck me so much, really, how much of an impression that I was having on these kids. And I stopped and I laughed and I said, guys, don't do that. Moms are not going to like that. Don't be spitting. Coach shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And it was a realization right there to me. And I think that we have to look at that as a head coach when you're talking about leadership. I love the thought, you know, hey, it's part of the rules. It's what it is. Whether I do or don't do, it's what it is, and setting that example. I think that's a very good thing, right, Coach?
No doubt. No doubt.
I like this one. Treat every player the same, even though you may have favorites.
Every coach has favorites. Those are the ones that play, right?
I love that you admit it. Most coaches won't admit it.
The favorites are the ones that are the best players because that's why they're in the lineup. Because you think they're better than other people.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just never have heard anybody admit it before.
There you go.
There you go. I love that. And number 5 here, teach your assistants drills, techniques, positive interaction with players.
That's hard because I think that gets lost in the shuffle. I mean, I go through coaches. I've been all kinds of different assistant coaches, but you have to teach the coaches. You have to get them to go to the clinics. I got 6 coaches, assistant coaches coming to the state clinic. Mm-hmm. I'm super juiced about that because they can sit around and listen to 10, 12 different speakers, you know, some pro guys, and, you know, they're going to get better. And they can pick up drills and that they like, and, you know, they can incorporate in their practices if they don't like mine. You know, you have to, you know, communicate with them. And like I said, I shoot my practice schedule out, and it goes to all levels so they can see what I'm doing. The hard part is that we're going to probably be ahead of what the freshmen and sophomores are, you know, so they'll be doing other stuff. You know, I need to get moving, and they may not be in the same place, but they see what drills that I'm doing, and so they can incorporate them into practice.
The philosophy, what you're doing, has to filter down. The coaches need to have an understanding of what you're trying to accomplish, because you don't want that kid showing up as a junior and going,
yeah,
we never did this before.
Right. The juniors show up and I say scanio drill, and they don't know what scanio drill is. I know they weren't doing it at the lower levels, which they should be.
And this goes directly to building a successful high school program. If your assistant coaches, and when I say assistant, it does filter down to, even though I'm the freshman head coach, you still have to be part of the program, correct?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I expect them to come to clinics. You know, I expect them to show up every day. I expect them to, you know, follow all the rules, and, you know, I expect them to use same sign signals that we use. I expect a lot of them. Yeah.
And I think that's fair, because that's the whole point of this. It's the program. And if the program doesn't start as a freshman, if the freshman coach isn't on board, then it goes to, you know, freshman, JV, or sophomore, whatever that case is. You got a junior that's coming up expecting to make the team, and you don't even understand what the coach is talking about.
Right.
I think that's
it makes it a lot easier. I mean,
yeah.
By the time they get to me, through the camps and through the lower levels, by the time they get to me, there's not too many drills they have not done.
Right. And I think that's where, like you said, open communication. If they're coming to the clinics, they can say, hey, coach, what about this? This is the way I think about this, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Conversation.
No.
Paperwork stinks.
It does. It's a pain, but you got to do it. I mean, but now things have changed, especially with after last year, the COVID, they went to paperless just this last year, where parents can do all the stuff online, and I don't have to do anything. That's beautiful.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Positive, right?
But there's stuff you need to do. You get it done. Get it done early. I mean, coaches got to go do, CPR testing. Go get it done. I mean, there's things you got to do. Get it done. Don't put the things off. It's just
what you have to do.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I like this, join the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches, or if you're in another state, join that. Whatever that High School Baseball Coaches Association is, get in there, right?
Absolutely. There's so many things that come besides our clinic. I mean, you got postseason honors. You have to be a member to even nominate for All-State. And now in the paper, they don't do that All-State. They used to do All-State. Now they just use ours. So it's the coaches that formulate the All-State teams. But you have to be a member to, nominate them, and you can get kids with scholarships. We give out 5 $1,000 scholarships a year. That's pretty significant in my book.
Is.
If you just, and again, you got to do the paperwork and get the paperwork in, but there's so many things that, you get people that are not, they have a Hall of Fame, and, you can recognize coaches, you recognize state champion coaches. We have a big luncheon, and it's really neat to get and be able to recognize coaches and give them the thank you that they deserve.
I think it's great. Understanding the culture of the state, learning, gleaning, getting to know other coaches. I think that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy talking to you about these things, is because you've been around the game in so many different facets. I'll spit that out in a minute. And knowing these other coaches, and you every time I talk to you, it's like, man, you can learn something from somebody.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I love it. I mean, and I have so much fun with those things, because I used to be president of that thing, and I'm still heavily involved, but I know 1A coaches, class 2 coaches, and they'll talk, and we'll sit down in the hallway. We'll start talking. They're picking my brain. I'm picking their brains, and they don't know it, but I am. Just trying to figure stuff out.
Right.
And I enjoy those conversations.
Right. Because, I mean, it is a different, at that class 2 level, it's a completely different world as far, from the class. And now we have class 6 to class 5. And, even some of the disparities of maybe those smaller class 5 schools.
Yep.
I mean, it's not it's not the same, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, people know that I started from the bottom. I mean, I graduated in class 24. I mean, I spent 3 years in that situation. So they can't tell me anything that I probably have not seen somewhere. Right. Exactly. And I think that's important. It's important, and setting that standard, because what you're trying to do, and this is the next part of this, is develop a culture that runs from the freshman class on up. So these kids do understand the culture and what's expected of them, correct? And again, it's kind of changing, with the social media. You got to tell kids to stay off of it, and not do anything stupid. There's been many college coaches that I've come across that we had to take this kid off of our recruiting list because he put something silly on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, because they ask for that stuff right away when they're interested in the guy.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful what you put out there. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot and cost yourself a scholarship.
I think it's interesting too, because, just in that, something this simple, I heard this story. It's recent story. I can't remember where I was listening to something, podcast or something. And there's a defensive back in the NFL that should have been number 1 draft pick. He was talent, at that level, got drafted in the 4th round. And the only thing that the speculation is he lost it in a game one time, took somebody's shoe off and threw it in the stands.
I heard that. It was this weekend, because he was kind of upset.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
And,
Washington, I believe.
Yeah. And it's just like, that really cost
him money. Every slot up is
something
more money.
that. So when you're putting it out on Twitter, I don't think people realize, I mean, just that much, right?
Yep.
Just for that. Hey, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. What kind of person are you? And I think that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is not punishment, folks. Discipline is an action to getting better. It's teaching. It's education.
You just said it about what kind of person they are. That's the first question I get, or it's either what kind of a person is he, or what's his grades. I mean, it's nothing about baseball. Those are the first two questions I get from coaches every time, and I impress that upon our guys at camps all the way through from 4th grade on through 12th grade. So
there you go. Some get it and some don't, right?
There's things you got to do.
I love this. Not 15 minutes early, you are late.
Yeah, it's a Lombardiism.
Yeah,
Lombardi got that from him, and I agree with that. There's always that guy who shows up 2 minutes before game or practices and stuff, and
then he's putting on his shoes,
or it's a Saturday, and we're coming right at time, and they're running in, and I'm like, dude, you fix your alarm clock.
This is one, and I agree with this. I'm this guy, although I'm wearing my hat backwards. I know I do this on the show. It's on the ball field. I never did. Yeah. I know Ken Griffey Jr. made that famous in his home run derby. And today the dress is a little different, but baseball pants, you still shirts tucked in, hats worn correctly. I'm going to do that out of respect for you there, Coach.
Thank you. That. Yeah, a lot of times I'll see kids rolling into the parking lot. They're driving, and as soon as they hit the parking lot, it goes like this. Because if I see it on backwards, they're going to run, and they know that. Respect the game.
Right? Mm-hmm. And people say, well, it's not a disrespect. You know what? If that's the way you look at it, that's the way you look at it. It's the way, and the expectation. And the fact is, they respect it, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
They understand that's the way it works.
And there's a lot of guys like wearing their head backwards. So
Yeah. I mean, like I said, King Griffey did it, so I must be able to. Yeah. If you're hitting bombs in the show, then let me know.
Do what you want. Just do what you want.
But see, and that's we say that, but there's still that respect there. And if you really see the professionals that have long term, they do respect the game. They respect those things, and they really do.
Yep.
There's the profanity thing. I love that. You got 2 poles for each letter.
Yeah, if they rip off a long one, they got a lot of running. and really, that happens one time.
Yeah.
And they see a guy running, it stops. Nobody wants to run.
No.
I mean, they could run 14, 18 poles. That's a lot.
You got now missing the bus on game days. That doesn't happen very often, right?
Happens if it happened once, because it won't happen again.
Missed practices are not allowed and affect playing time. Practice is important, as we said. We talk about it. Practices are yours. The game is theirs. So you have to respect my time, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The hardest part is, especially when a freshman, spring break. Right? Because a lot of families go to a beach somewhere on spring break. Well, and I'll tell them, after we cut teams, I have a parent meeting, and I'll tell them, I said, when you come back, you're going to be behind.
Yeah.
Because we are playing games, we are having practices, your kid's not there. Somebody's going to step up and take that guy's place, and don't expect to come back a day one and think you're going to be a starter, because that's not going to happen. You're going to have to earn your time back on the field, and so just understand that there's no spring break for baseball players.
Justin's over there nodding in agreement, Coach.
Yeah. That's just more time we can practice.
Right? Communication. Communicate. Communication is key, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of changed too, because I just use Twitter. I'm at How Baseball, and that's where I communicate, and that way everybody can know what's going on. And, we rained out today. Hold on, we got a chance. We're going to go someplace else and play.
Right.
So that happens.
One space, boom, done.
Yep.
I like it. And these are things here. Detention, suspensions result in loss of playing time. Throwing equipment needs to be an immediate consequence. Bench or running. I like this one. Those we've seen. Do you get help from the teachers and stuff with that, with detentions and suspensions?
Well, a lot of times teachers will email me and say, hey, we're having trouble with Joe in class. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. Well, give me detention. Give him whatever. Don't do him any favors.
Right.
I don't want our kids, they know that they need to act right in class. And I don't want you to do them any favors. And I really don't like teachers expecting me to discipline them for what they're doing in somebody else's class. I don't like that. I mean, if I'm a teacher, I got a problem in class with a kid, I'm taking care of that in class. Right. Whatever I got to do. If it's, deemed suspension, you get him suspended, and then he's going to suffer. He's going to get double indemnity because he's not only getting punished in school, he's also going to get punished on the baseball field. I'm going to run him, and he's not going to be starting, next game out. So I don't get it. The using yes sir, no sir thing is okay. I was talking to a coach one time, and one of my players ran up to me and asked me a question, and I told him and answered him, and he said yes sir, and he ran off, and the coach started laughing. I go, what are you laughing about? He goes, you make your kids say yes sir? I said, no, they just do it. I think it's just a respect thing, and every coach, he thought that was kind of funny, but I was like, it's just the way people should act.
I'm with you, Coach.
In college, I mean, you go up to a college
That's
coach,
what my
yes,
mama
sir.
taught me.
You go into the service, it's a yes sir there too.
Yeah. I mean, real and that way, that's what I was taught. My parents taught me that. Mm-hmm. Respect, yes sir, no sir, that kind of thing.
Yep. It go a long way.
Yeah, it does. You got you're checking grades, mandatory study hall if necessary. I think those two kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, I really have been okay. I know some kids that have had trouble with their grades, and there are tools in place at the school. I mean, you talk to the counselor and say, man, this dude's struggling in math. I mean, what can he do? Mm-hmm. And then, we can get him a tutor, we can get him this, and we can give him more time. Can he miss some practice time right after school for maybe a half hour, 40 minutes? That answer to me is always yes.
Yeah.
You got to get your academics right first, and that is
student athlete.
That's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I love this one. Hair or facial hair becomes so you're not the New York Yankees. So where it's never been. No, so you allow it.
If it doesn't look good, we're having a chat.
You can't. If you got the carpenter beard, you're okay, right?
Yeah, if it looks good.
Let's finish it up here, Coach. Your community here, fundraising.
Yeah.
What have you done? What's that all about?
Our golf tournament's a big thing, and a lot of parents get involved in that one as far as raffle prizes and just actually golfing in the tournament stuff, and that's been really good for us. And we also have France-Hall Baseball Hall of Fame. We also put 2 guys in on that date, so it's cool. That's a big thing. I really enjoy it. Get a lot of alumni back. It's a lot of fun.
And that's the thing. Do you get a lot of parents and stuff coming back with the kids and so it keeps them involved in the program, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Especially if you get put in the Hall of Fame, then you show up and then you golf and then you come back next year.
There you go.
It's perfect.
There you go. But they enjoy it. People enjoy it. I think this to me is one of the things I think is maybe not as healthy in all these programs. And it does take the time of the coach to put these things into practice, doesn't it?
Oh, it's hard. I mean, fortunately, my wife really helps me a lot. She does all the registration, and I have some other moms that are are good friends that come out.
So what you're saying is your wife does it all? No, I'm kidding.
She does the check-in stuff. That's when I got to hobnob and say, hey, thanks for playing. Try and talk to every person there as I try and do. So, yeah.
Heck, my wife does everything, so
yeah. Just get out of their way. I do. It's not X-grain anymore. It's fan cloth. We do that in January, just trying to generate some cash so we got some money to buy equipment. I always have extra hats, and I sell them at the camps, and extra shirts, and people. In fact, yesterday I had to run up to school and grab a hat for a parent that wanted to give it for Christmas. So
there you go.
We're to do that. Dodgeball tournament. I used to do that. It's kind of fizzled. It's kind of gone off the back end. It's done. I used to have a program too. That's fizzled. That's gone.
Well, we got your program right here, Coach.
Yeah. Well, we're doing very good in the other categories, though. But yeah, they always ask you what you need all the money for as well. It's I get baseballs, helmets, but if I want to get like a L screen or a sock net, or for instance, we go to Kansas City, or we go to Joplin. School pay for like the yellow bus. Mm-hmm. If we're going to take those long buses and be on a bus for 8 or 9 hours in a 24-hour period, I'm going to get a nice charter bus, and so we have to make up the difference in cost.
Sure.
So that's all the money. It goes back to the program some way. Even we go to Columbia, I'll give each kid $5 for. I said, go to their barbecue. Support their program. Buy their food, get the burgers, get the hot dogs, help them out too. It's just little things that we do.
I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I love that. Mm-hmm. That's awesome, because that's just the way it should be. It's community helping.
Yeah, I'll talk to Coach ahead of time. You guys going to be barbecuing? You got grills or you got burgers or something? Yeah, okay, cool. I'll make my kids eat it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Coach, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoyed
it too.
I think it's. A lot of, if you're watching, I'm sure there's a lot of guys maybe do some of these stuff, if you're a young coach, take some of these things. It's helped coach put together a very successful program. I will say this, from 03, you've got 4 state championships. You're competing every year, and I know he'll be the first one to tell you talent has a lot to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Good players make good coaches.
So, but if you have the structure, if you have the infrastructure in place, it makes it easier to bring that talent along and the execute. Hey.
There's expectations that they're aware of.
And I don't care how much talent you have, if you got a team that can out-execute you, out-play you, they got a chance to beat you.
Yep, I like them dirt bags.
There you go. There you go. Coach, thanks, man.
You bet.
Folks, if you liked what we did here today, please hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button too there, because if you like it, share it out with the friends, family, whatever, other coaches that are watching that might need some help. We'd appreciate that. These are 4 segments here that we put together for this, how to build a successful high school program. It's always good. So thanks for watching. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. Remember, hit that notification. Hit the dinger for notifications, because that's what we do. We hit dingers. And all you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. You hitters, hit them where they ain't. And we will see you next time.